Welcome back to Shining in Korea.
We
Guess
got,
what we got?
subak.
Cantaloupes.
Watermelon.
Watermelons. So, in case anybody was wondering what's special about this, in Korea, these, which, what, roughly basketball size?
About the size of your head.
These you can find in and about in the traditional markets and the truck vendors and whatnot, anywhere from about
12 to 18,000 won.
Yeah, 12 to 18,000 won.
Which translates out to
8 to 15 bucks.
my
give or take.
My mom broke my heart today when I was talking to her. She told me that they had really big watermelons, 2 for $4, and I was like crying.
And Lord forbid you want to pick one of the what we consider a normal size watermelon.
Yeah, that's probably 25, 28,000, maybe 30.
Those you see anywhere from 25 to 40,000 won. That's 20 to 30 bucks ish.
So
watermelon's expensive here.
We went to the Sungtan market today, and
looked around a little bit.
We were picking up produce and other things, and we happened upon a vendor who had them for 9,000 won each.
Oh, just a side note, there's also smaller watermelons that are like about that big around, and those usually go from 5 to 10,000 won. But yeah, this nice lady, we found her, she had a whole box of these for 9,000 won.
And she looked at us like we were crazy when we told her we wanted 6.
So, one good thing about buying stuff at the traditional markets, especially using cash, is a lot of times they'll cut you a discount. Like, oh, if it's 52 or 54,000 won, just give me 50. All right, you're good.
Yeah, it was 54, and I handed her 60, and she handed me 10,000 won back and said, "No, we're good." Thanked us multiple times. So
we got a little bit of discount on them. Not a whole lot.
We are super excited. We have ordered some 100% watermelon juice. That's Korean 100% watermelon juice to add to our mash for our brandy.
Yes.
But we are making watermelon brandy, which is something I've wanted to make since we started making it. So I'm so excited.
We got a bit of a plan. So we are going to
cut these open, and scoop them completely out.
Scoop them out, hollow them out. Probably run them through the food processor to smooth them up. We're going to put them in Ziploc bags, and we're going to put them in the freezer and freeze them. So that freezing action causes the juice to bust out of the cells.
But also because we don't know how long it'll take for our juice to get here, so we want to give our juice plenty of time. And
it might take 2 or 3 days for the delivery to get here. So that'll give us time to scoop these out, freeze them, and then when it comes in, we can pour it all in a bucket. And from what we've heard, the wild yeast in watermelons is really hard to overcome.
Yeah.
So hitting these with some Camden tablets so that we don't get rotten watermelons.
The nice thing, though, is from what I've been reading about, the watermelon, because it's so waterful, it's waterful. That's my word today.
It's
full of water.
Something like 90% water.
We won't actually need to use a lot of water. We'll use enough water for the sugar that we add, but we won't use a lot of water in this, which will be kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, we got six melons here. We might need like 2 liters of water to melt sugar in to bring the starting gravity up.
And then right before we run it, we'll, of course, get more watermelon to go in our thump keg, just to have that because, well, we want it in the thump.
We'll keep some of that 100% watermelon juice in case we need to reflavor it on the back end, because we've heard some people say that watermelon doesn't distill really with a really strong flavor.
But we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
So we're excited. So watermelon.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to do it yet. It'll be a first for us. It's probably our second or third most expensive shine at this point.
Yeah, probably about.
Yeah. Lord help us if we get as excited as we did about the honeydew melon and have to go back for more melons.
That would be...
Yeah, that one was crazy. So we probably aren't doing that. But you never know.
I don't know. We got 6 melons worth here, and you got about a gallon and a half of juice coming in, so we should be good for a 5-6 gallon ferment. So
we're excited. So we will be back when we start working on our mash build.
Yeah, when we start actually working on it, we'll get you some highlights, and we will be back.
Yay!
All right, welcome back to Melon Day. at Shining in Korea headquarters here. As you can see, we have a plan that we're executing that we're about halfway through because some yokel messed up setting up the mics again. But we are having these, or quartering up these beautiful melons. And as you can see, we are scooping all the meat out into a wire basket, checking for seeds, and then dumping them into the food processor to be frappéd. All props to the lovely lady that was running the fruit stand that we got these from, because
These are pretty.
these are beautiful and they have little to no seeds in them. And the seeds that they do have are those little tan, flexible, like non-hard seeds. So I don't think those are going to be any problem.
Nope.
So we haven't come across any of those watermelon spitting seeds yet. Not to drag this part out because we've already recorded all this.
And you look, you have to include the quality control check.
Yes, we have our quality control check doggy, who is adamant that she checks all the watermelons.
She believes she should have a bite of each watermelon. Okay, that's all you get of this one. And yes, is it 2 paws up? 2 paws up. Yay, baby.
So we are going to take the rest of this watermelon meat and we are going to run it through the food processor, and then we're going to bag it into some Ziploc bags, throw it in the freezer. And then with the other watermelon, 100% Korean watermelon juice that we ordered online, that came here frozen, we are going to thaw everything out, probably tomorrow or Monday or someday next week. Throw some Camden tablets in it, let it sit overnight, and then we will proceed to watermelon shine the hell out of this. We're going to get back to this. We'll see y'all in situ somewhere else. All right, so what we got here is
2 liters of water and 5 pounds of honey.
right. So we don't know exactly how much, if that's going to be the right amount, but we did the starting gravity for just the strawberries and the. Why do I keep saying strawberries?
I don't know.
The starting gravity for the watermelon and the watermelon juice that we added to it, and got a starting gravity of 1.03. So there's a look at the mush in there with all the additives that we're about to stir in. So we're going to stir this in and see if 5 pounds of honey is enough to bring our starting gravity up to fermenting levels. All right, so excuse me being in the floorness here, but so we have taken our watermelon mash, and for the most of it, we've already drained it and racked it off into some other containers, and we've got them sealed up and under the little airlocks, because making wine is basically the first step of making brandy. So we're letting those sit for a minute. Now, what we've got from the rest of that is some watermelon mush that still has a fair amount of liquid in it. So I'm gonna put this little strainer bag on here, and then we're gonna pour this in here, let the liquid that will gravity drain out, and then we'll mash the rest of it to get the rest of the juice out, so that we've got leftover mash to put in the thump keg, so we keep the watermelon flavor as watermelon as possible. So here goes this madness. Look out, Sookie Dog. Yay. All right, so let me tie the top of this off. Clean that up in a second. So what I'll do here is I'll get a little basket that fits in this so that it's got a little air gap so the liquid will drain out. And hopefully when I see you guys next, we'll be running some watermelon brandy. All right, welcome back to Watermelon Shenanigans. So, after the distillation, we wound up with roughly about 2¼ liters, or probably close to 3 quarts of, about 2½ quarts, 2¼ liters. Measurements. This cooked out at overall about 150 proof for the whole jar. It came out high octane. So now, word to the wise, one thing we figured out during fermentation. The thing people like about watermelon is it's sweet. When you're fermenting something, you're turning sugar into alcohol, so there's no sweet left in it. You know what watermelon tastes like with no sweet in it? Watermelon rind. Yeah, and it smells like it too. So if you take this right now as it is and take a swig off of it, it's going to taste like liquid watermelon rind.
It does have a slight watermelon scent. This one we have.
So we watered this down to about 100 proof so it wouldn't set our tongues on fire. Woo. It does have that rind smell to it though. And it tastes like watermelon rind.
So I don't even need to taste it then.
You can take a little sip if you want. I mean, you can verify my findings. So the whole point that I'm making is with this is don't expect it to smell or taste like watermelon until you add some sugar back in.
But the thing to remember about adding sugar back in.
Once you add it to the alcohol, you're not going to be able to hydrometer proof it anymore.
Right.
So we're doing this based on seat of the pants math.
We're doing this based on this jar right here that we have here.
Right. So this is 150 milliliters of watermelon shine and water mixed to be 100 proof. So we are going to try and add a wee bit of syrup. Does that measure in milliliters or?
3 milliliters.
Oh, it does measure in milliliters. 3 milliliters at a time. Guys, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm trying to do this in a logical fashion. So since we had 150 mils of liquid, I added 15 mils of simple syrup. So that should bring us, that's 10% of the whole, so that should bring us from 100 down to 90. And while it's not quite enough, I can definitely taste the sweet coming back into it for the watermelon.
Yeah. Still a little hot for me.
Yeah, it's still a little hot. On with the sugar adding. We're going to try and keep it in increments that we can kind of easily do the math for it, because otherwise we're just going to be wild ass guessing what's going on. By George, I think we've got it. Not really, but anyway. So, granted, we got a whole lot of stuff in here, but what we started with in our jar, so we had 100 mils of 150 proof liquor. We've added 100 milliliters of water, which brings it down to 75 proof. We've added 25 milliliters of simple syrup, which according to my
South Kakalaki
educational skills says we should have 69% or 69 proof. Now we've gotten it to a point where
we can taste the watermelon very well.
So we can taste watermelon, obviously. We can smell watermelon, which is good because you want your nose to be involved. But because we're adding simple syrup and not like actual watermelon sugar,
watermelon juice,
it's kind of candified. It tastes a little bit cotton candy, Jolly Rancher-ish. But at this level, it's got a little bit of burn around the edges on the back end, but not enough to really put anybody off. It's got a light, fruity, watermelon-y flavor, and it smells pretty good. So, the only thing I would suggest, if you care about keeping it clear, stop there. We're doing pretty good. If you want to enhance the candified watermelon-y flavor, I would suggest
get some watermelon
some Jolly Ranchers, or if you can find like a fruit extract, because I know there's places that sell extracts for melon and watermelon and cinnamon and all sorts of flavors.
Olive Nation.
That's right. We saw those on Bearded and Board. So
Olive Nation.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get extracts to flavor your alcohols.
Ask the baker lady. She bakes a lot of shit with flavors.
She has a lot of extracts.
Anyway, so you could add a couple drops of that to this and kind of punch the flavor up a bit. But rock on, watermelon. And Besides the fact that it smelled like complete ass for a bit while it was fermenting.
Well, let's talk about how you left the container with the watermelon and the dregs in the bottom, and what did that smell like?
That was completely my fault.
But what did that one smell like?
I'll own it, but that went to complete like watermelon vinegar.
And it was bad watermelon vinegar.
That'll burn the nose out your hair. Or the hair out your nose.
Actually, I think it burnt the nose out his hair. That's what, yeah, he's bald now.
But make sure you clean all your buckets when you're done. Because we had to throw out one or two. Because I forgot about them and left them sit to the side for a few days. And
I was like, I'm done.
Oh.
No.
No, just right out. Anyway, word to the wise, clean all your buckets when you're done.
Yes.
And enjoy some watermelon, y'all. Have fun. Like, subscribe, do the internet stuff. We'll see y'all around.
Bye.
Call it a midlife situation, a moonshine